Now let's look at a patent granted for a foldable iPhone. This is a patent that has been granted to Apple, and this is what the phone is about. It's a flexible iPhone. Now if we analyze the claims, you can see the independent claims beginning with a preamble and a transition. The preamble being an electronic device and the transition being comprising. And then you have the body, a housing structure, a flexible support structure mounted to the housing structure. Now notice something that's happening here, which we have covered. The first time you mention a housing structure, you are mentioning something for the first time. You are introducing that into the claim language for the first time. So you use the indefinite article A. In the second clause, when housing structure is mentioned again, you change it to a definite article, the housing structure. Now this is what we call antecedent basis. Because you have already mentioned housing structure, you can call it the housing structure or said housing structure. It's another thing, other way to look at it. Or you can even say such housing structure. So antecedent basis is to ensure that wherever you mention an element, you ensure that that element has seen an earlier reference. And the first time you mention an element, it has to be indefinite. So this is a style that is followed. The first time you mention an element, in this case, the first clause, you will see the housing structure. The housing structure is an element which has been mentioned, and that will be mentioned using an indefinite article A. The second place where you mention it, you will be using the. Now you can see that. Now, and notice how the punctuation operates. You have the semicolon followed by and. A flexible display mounted to the flexible support structure. So you have already introduced a flexible support structure in this clause. Here you can use the flexible support structure because it's already introduced. Because you are introducing a flexible display for the first time, you use a. Whereas this flexible support structure, it's already been introduced in the earlier clause, you can now call it the. So in patent drafting, especially when you are drafting the claims, the first time you introduce an element, you use an indefinite article a or an, and every other time you refer it, you call it the, said, such, or whatever appropriate language that you can use.